And now we're live. Hello, everybody. As you know, this is our third get together. We are. What's going on?
That's YouTube.
Ah, okay. All right, here's Leslie just in time.
Okay.
Yay.
She's right here.
I don't know what I was thinking.
There you go.
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. I thought I was joining Zoom. I got my Zoom already earlier today, and
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, we were doing
There she is.
we're doing it this
okay.
way. All right. So as you know, this is our third get together to celebrate our MPE, which is actually NPE and NPE, not parents expected. We've got a new brother. We've all met each other online in the last 18 months. This has been about an every 18-month thing, hadn't it? Jessica, 18 months later, me, and now Paul. So at the top of the screen, up on the left is LaDonna. That's the right-hand side of the screen, sorry. On the bottom right is Jessica. On the left bottom is Leslie. And top center, the star of our program today, our brother Paul.
Hi, Paul.
Hello.
And I'm Wayne.
Excited.
I'm just the old one.
Is Taylor just over?
Taylor and her husband haven't made it back home yet, and so she said she's going to set it out.
Okay. Gotcha.
Okay, I'm sitting in front of a green screen just so everyone knows. That's not my daughter's bedroom studio.
I wish it was.
All right. Uh-oh, where'd Leslie go?
Oh no. Okay, sorry. Never mind.
That's okay. If we can
I'm
hear
back.
you, that's
I'm
fine.
back.
Okay.
I don't know
We
what's
can
happening
hear
now.
you, but we can't see you, but that's okay. So, Paul,
Yes.
Paul, tell us about you. You are the newest. How did you come to know you are a part of this crew?
Well, when I was 16, my mother that's my mom.
Okay.
She said, I need you to meet somebody. I said, oh. And she said, yeah. And I'm going, that's odd. She's never done that before. So this guy showed up. He's got a bit of a twang. And right before he showed up, my mom said, this might be your father. I went, are you kidding me? She said, yeah, your dad and Terry Patton, I'm not sure who's who. I went, oh, okay. Then I talked to Terry about a month later, and that was the last I ever heard from him. So,
Okay.
So you met him, and then a month later you talked with him one more time?
on the phone, yeah,
Okay. And then that was it.
that was it. Never heard from him again.
Mm.
And I kind of, I've been wondering all this time. And then when my son opened up his genetic test, I looked down and I said, oh boy. And he looked at me and said, what? I said, we are not who we think we are.
Yeah.
And that's when my youngest, Jack, started reaching out to everybody.
Right.
I had to deal with it for a few days. Yeah, because it was,
Understandable.
yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. I had a bit of not a psychotic break, a manic break. It lasted about 24 hours, but my reality was shaken.
Yeah.
And what's funny is that it wasn't that Dad wasn't who Dad was supposed to be. I was very proud of my Jewish and North African heritage, and I didn't have any of it.
Surprise.
98% European, Scots, Irish, Welsh, and I'm like, okay, well, this is different, but it's fine. It's fine. I got over it.
Yeah, my mother was Irish, pure, and when my test came back, it showed much higher Scottish than I ever thought. So I'd known we'd had some Scots in our background, but apparently from Terry, I got a whole lot of Scottish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
Paul, had you shared your meeting with Terry with your sons, or did you just put that out of your mind and not even share that with your children previously when you were?
Yeah, I kind of didn't share it with them because the family that I grew up with, they're very distant to me and my sons. And I just didn't want my sons to get any heartbreak from it, because they really hurt my oldest son really bad when he was about 6. And I just said, you know what? I'm not worried about it.
Yeah.
So
That makes sense. So then when they found out, they couldn't say, oh, this is that thing you were talking about, because you hadn't mentioned that to them, which is understandable.
yeah.
Okay.
So then I told them what I knew, and the genetic test, DNA. I mean, you can't refute it. I mean, it's there.
Right.
You are our brother, like it or not.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I discovered that I'm the whitest white boy around. I mean, I'm all Northern European. So that kind of went, wow.
Yeah. So Jessica, since Paul's new, give your story. How'd you find out? You knew about Terry, but when did you find out about us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, my mom was married to Terry, and he claimed that I was not his daughter when she was pregnant with me, when I was born. I was just telling Wayne recently, it literally says father unknown on my birth certificate. He refused to be a part of my life, so he was never there. My mom left him while she was pregnant with me. I knew obviously about him. I knew that there was 2 older siblings, Leslie and Brian, and I actually met Terry one and only time it was the week of 9/11, and I was on vacation in Southern California where he lived. And my uncle from my mother's side was working with him. Said, "Oh, I'm friends with your dad. You need to meet him." So I met him. He was very smug and, "Oh, you think I'm your father?" kind of attitude. And he told me about Taylor. He told me about Leslie and Brian, and he said, "But don't worry, you'll never meet them." And then 3 months later, he passed away. So that was my one and only experience. I did Ancestry, and Leslie is the one that contacted me and said, I think I might be your sister. And that was in 2019. And then we found Wayne in 2020. So that's my story.
I used my COVID money to get the DNA test.
I love it. So glad you did. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Okay, Leslie, did you know about any of us?
Okay, so when Brian and I were growing up, as far as we know, he and I are the only full siblings. So we grew up together because we're less than 2 years apart. And sometime in our childhood, we heard about, well, I guess I always saw pictures of LaDonna. We had baby pictures of LaDonna, and I heard about LaDonna. And then finally one time, my childhood was a blur because they got divorced and then my mom got remarried. And so I can't remember, time periods, but at some point we met LaDonna. And I think, LaDonna, did we meet each other twice as children?
Yes.
Okay, twice.
Months apart. Because it was 77. I was 14. Yes. And after the wedding that I went to on my 14th birthday, the family just wanted to spend time with me. So Aunt Helen wanted to spend time with me. Kate's on. She says hi to everybody.
I see that. Okay.
And I went to Aunt Helen's for spring break, and you guys came over, and
Okay.
we were sitting in Dallin's room, and we were talking. Brian wasn't having it. He was not happy with having an older sister. It was bad enough he had one sister. Now I had two, so he kind of pouted. So in bed with his arms folded, just scowling at me and her. And we were excited to have sisters, so we were happy. And then the last time we saw each other was Easter Sunday at Aunt Helen's church.
And see, you remember those details better than I do. There's so much that's just kind of went to a blur. But I did remember you, and I always wish there were more opportunities for us to get together, but that was out of my hands. And then I think my mother resented the fact that you were even a part of our life. I think she even made some comment one time about not your real sister, and then which didn't make sense because I had a half sister with her, and her dad. I mean, my half sister's dad. And so I thought, well, that's the same thing. It shouldn't make any difference. But then I didn't know how to search for you. There wasn't the internet, and so I didn't know.
There wasn't ways.
Right.
I even started trying.
Grandma Patton talked
Before
about you a
Facebook.
lot. And she told me about you when I was growing up. And I was always jealous of you because you looked more like Dad than I did. And I wanted to
You and Christopher look so much alike. I mean, Christopher has your smile. He has your cheeks.
Oh,
His
yeah.
baby, I kept thinking, who is this baby? My son looks like somebody. Who does he look like? And I went, there he is. It's Leslie.
And so,
Well,
when
I do see
I looked on
similarity
Facebook
in
for
you
you,
guys.
and I'm sorry, what was that, Paul?
Like I said, this is the first time I've ever seen people that look like me. I can see it in all of you.
You
In
look
my
like
life.
our cousin Dallin so much. I wish I could show you.
He does look a lot like him.
He does. There's a picture on Facebook. You just look just like. That's Aunt Helen is Terry's oldest sister. She's second born, and her 3 children. You look like them so much. Your facial structure looks very much like them.
Yeah. Aunt Helen's in her 90s.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. So
She's like,
the women did well with age in our family, but the
Dylan gets
dudes,
there,
not
you know.
so much.
Right.
Roll hard, put
That's
away
us.
wet.
even with it.
That's exactly it.
Mine's mostly a long time in the military. It's kind of ate me up.
So what questions
Can
do you
imagine.
have that you've been wanting to ask, Paul? Or wondered about?
Well, they're all kind of getting answered. I mean, I think the thing that gets to me the most is how it would have been so easy for him to get us all connected, and he didn't do it.
Yeah.
And that's
what bugs me.
that breaks my heart. And I'm feeling really comfortable with.
I was hanging down in Huntington. I was hanging in Newport Beach. We were just that close, that far apart from each other, and didn't know it.
Yeah, I lived in Huntington Beach for high school, and then would come up to Oregon, where the rest of my family was every year. And I lived in Anaheim, Brook and Ball. Could see the Disneyland fireworks every night. And then
I lived behind the Disneyland Hotel and the apartments there.
oh, wow,
Yeah,
we were
yeah.
close too.
I mean,
And Brian and
we
I
should
grew
have
up in
run into each other somehow, some way.
Brian and I
We
grew
lived
up
there
in Downey.
3 years.
Not that far either.
Yeah,
And he worked.
Well, I seem to
summers
remember
in-
that.
and I tried even on MySpace.
I seem to remember that Terry was working at the car dealerships in El Toro.
Yeah,
There's,
he worked at a lot of car dealers.
a
Yeah,
lot of different
Yeah.
places. Mhm.
when I knew him, he was working at it was at Oldsmobile GMC in Cadillac in Costa Mesa.
Yep.
Mm.
Okay. Yeah.
I think
He was
one
known
of
for
the most disturbing things was the things he said to Jessica when he said,
Yeah.
I mean, first
Yeah.
of all, disowning her. And then when he said to you, but you'll never know them.
Yeah.
Just,
Yeah,
I
that's
don't understand
not
that.
right.
I don't even understand that kind of thinking.
I don't either.
Yeah, I don't get it. And I still haven't forgotten being
Let
at
me play.
my diabetic checkup and this man coming from her town saying, "Hey, how are you?" I'm like, I don't know who he is, and it was Jessica. He'd seen her and knew of her from somebody that lived near him that she's a caregiver for, and he thought that I was her. He's like, "You got a sister?" And I'm like, "I don't think so." And within 8 months, there she was. And it's like, oh my God, that guy! He told me. I had no idea, and he knew her name started with a J. So it was kind of exciting when she popped up.
I think what needed to be done with Terry, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but I hope he's not that despicable. I'm hoping that when he met Jessica, he was embarrassed
Uh-huh.
and he was trying to deny or hide from his assholeness.
I think
Yeah.
you're right for sure.
I hope.
Yeah, I think you're right
I
too,
think
because I see a lot of her and me too. I think we look the most alike out of all of
too.
us.
Yeah.
So Dolores,
And
I've never seen
there's no way he could
Dolores.
deny it.
Do y'all know Aunt Dolores or have you seen
Yeah.
Dolores? Okay.
Yes.
From people that I've shared and the cousins, Jessica, photos of you even, they were talking about that they favored a great deal at the age.
Well, Fallon looks just like Aunt Sue or Dolores. So I grew up calling her Aunt Sue. Her name is Dolores Sue. I keep calling her Aunt Sue. Fallon looks just like Dolores.
Mm. And I have nobody I look like. Growing up, it was funny.
No, you got our facial features. I see it.
Oh, I do now.
see it
I
in
mean,
us.
yeah. I think you, me, and Brian, we have this thing going on with our eye shape, especially.
Yeah.
And then like Leslie had pointed out, my 3-year-old picture, and I think Brian's was 3-4 years old, is similar.
Yes.
And then Paul shared his, and he has a photo that looks like my first or second grade photo. So yeah, I think those three boys definitely look a lot alike. I know that Jessica has a very similar eye structure to Fallon, so I guess that would be the Dolores thing. And then Krista, she kind of has a blend of everything. And then Leslie and Cohen have.
Hi, Jack.
Oh, hey, Jack. Jack is viewing
Hi,
along
Jack.
with Leah and Kate.
Mhm.
All right. Well, these first meetings are kind of tough, right? We're all kind of like, what do we say next? I think we've all been through it so much now, right?
Yeah.
Oh boy. How many more of us are there left?
Don't ask that question.
Yeah. Right.
No, yeah, no
between-
telling.
Between Jessica
Yeah.
and Taylor, there's what, 13, 14 years?
Yeah.
About 14 years.
So what I want to know is, was he married during that time?
Yes.
Yeah, what was he up to?
He was married to a woman named Jennifer for a long time. And
Oh God, he married her? I didn't realize he
Yeah.
married her.
Yeah, they were married. And
Oh my God.
so in
I don't understand about Jennifer.
before so Taylor is the same age as my daughter Leah, and so right before I had Leah, he was with a woman named Tara, and they had a business in Bakersfield, and I worked in that business, and he was too busy running that business. It was a brand new truck customizing business, he wasn't doing anything. He was mainly at the business every single day, and he was living with Tara. And then not too long after that, he got with Taylor's mom, and they had Taylor. So, and he was too busy doing horses and things like that with Jennifer, and Jennifer, he was with Jennifer all the time. I mean, I'm sure there was a time when he could have cheated on her, I guess, but they just had this busy life of
Right.
horses.
Now, what's funny is Fallon's first name is Tara.
Oh, really? I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
I'm dying over here.
Did you see that Leah's question?
Whoa.
Is it me?
Leah has a question for us.
Yes, I see that. Uncle and aunts, have any of you talked about weird quirks or likes, dislikes that you might share? I'm also curious about your kids' reactions about these discoveries. Care to share? Yeah, of course we do. Paul, so Paul, your sons, how did they feel about this new increase to the family?
Well, Jack is ecstatic. William,
Yeah.
he had a problem with it because the only family members that were close to us was their great grandparents, and he was really upset that they weren't blood. And I said, well, Papa wasn't blood at all. He never had any kids, but he was our grandfather. Jack, he's immersed. He'll probably be doing more research.
Right.
Because
We've done a lot.
I definitely want to know more of where we are in Scotland, or where we came from.
Okay, I do know that our family established in 1538 were sent from London to Scotland, to the colony, to recolonize northern Scotland. And then about 100 years later, I can send you all that data, I'll gather it back up. We were sent to Ulster. The family was sent to Ulster. They didn't like it there. They rose up and they hit the ships and came to the United States. Now, some of the records are kind of iffy there. New Scotland or Virginia. So we've got records that show both. So I'm kind of at a loss there. Taylor is helping me sort those out.
Yeah, that resettlement you were talking about, that's when the English took all the Highlanders out of the hills, forced them out, and drove all of them into the lowlands.
Yeah.
But I did look up the patent history, and they were connected to the McDonald's and the McLeans.
And I think the connection we had with the McDonald's was basically worked for them, and then they were absorbed into the clan.
The McDonald's were bastards. The McDonald's were definitely bastards. They would throw another clan to the arrows. That's what they called it. Basically cannon fodder, and come out on top. So, and then the Irish part, I know where that's from on my mom's side, but
right,
not on her dad's.
Now, one thing we haven't authenticated yet, Taylor and myself. Do you know who Anne Boleyn was? That was the wife that was beheaded of Henry VIII. Her sister is one of our grandmothers. So we're working back on that to get that verified.
Wow.
So we've got a paper trail to there, but it's not certified yet. So it's kind of interesting because as you breed out of your class, they shove you down and send you off to other countries. I guess you're an embarrassment. So we have a rich history, and the men. It's a long line of not stepping up. Unfortunately, I think it's in our blood.
Well, fortunately, it seems like it's not carried over to this generation because Brian is, taking care of his kids. You're right there with yours. Paul is involved in his kids' life. So that stopped with Terry.
Well, they had to breed
Yeah.
to perfection, and here it is.
There you go.
Oh my gosh. Okay, quirks.
So yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Do we have any quirks that are? I don't know. My husband calls me weird, so I don't know.
I know that on the phone, Leslie, you, Jessica, and LaDonna at times sound a lot alike.
Mm-hmm.
The very few times that Jessica's ever spoke on the phone. And Leslie, you're not a phone talker either.
It's not my favorite thing.
No.
This is not my favorite thing. What I'm doing right now either.
Yeah.
I do not enjoy being on camera.
That's why I didn't ask in the past. We didn't do any earlier. Paul was here. I thought this is, we
No,
need to
sometimes
talk
you
to Paul.
have to. Yep. Sometimes
So, Paul, is there anything your kids say that you do that is weird? Any quirks? No, I mean, we all do other weird things, but any quirks?
Well, I'm slightly OCD, and I have to have patterns, and it's not severe, but if I don't do things a certain way, I get all out of sorts. The other thing that they've noticed as they've gotten older, when I get into a situation, I become Sergeant Martinez, and they said it's pretty frightening looking, but it's usually for a good reason.
Okay.
That's pretty much about it. I mean, they're very happy that I'm a history fanatic.
Nice.
Now, that was something that Terry did as well, history and westerns.
Mm-hmm.
And he was an avid reader of, what is that series?
Louis
Louis
L'Amour.
L'Amour. Yeah.
Brian is too.
I think I'm too used to your
Figures.
quirks, so I can't tell if they exist. But do you have any?
I don't have quirks. I'm perfect. No, I just usually get aggravated, keep it to myself, walk off, and never mention it again, and then, drop dead. But
That's not a good one.
blood pressure's high, that kind of stuff.
I'm kind of like Paul. I have some OCD things and some things that, so it's not where it's a problem. I recognize certain things that I do, and I just have to decide not to do them. I have to purposely choose not to do the weird thing. And I'm able to do that. And it's not anything that affects anybody's life. It just takes too much time to do these dumb things. So I just have to make a choice that doesn't matter. That's just so stupid that I do this, but there was no reason to stop and the thing that helped me stop it was saying it out loud. So I would tell my husband, embarrassingly tell my husband this dumb thing that I did. And when I said it out loud, then I'm able to stop doing it. So
Okay.
nothing that I need medication for or anything, but that's why my husband calls me weird.
The only thing that I have that's similar to that is when I'm thinking of something or about a problem, I go to a very dark place and start having this thinking type scenarios running, and I have to out loud say stop to get it to stop.
Mm-hmm.
And then OCD, I'm not. You've seen my desk, Leslie. I am not a neatness person. Where'd Jessica go?
Maybe she got kicked off. Let me text her real quick and see what's up.
Okay.
Yeah, the only other quirk I have was from combat and Hurricane Katrina. I'm 70% disabled from PTSD.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with medication, I'm a happy boy.
Good.
But, and then I was drinking real heavy. I quit that. Everybody said, well, you got to get help and all that. And I said, nope, I'm not drinking anymore. And that's almost a year ago. And nobody thought I could do it. And I said, hell yeah, I can do it. I like it much better now.
That's good.
You know, I
I'm
think
glad you
that
did it.
I think that
Yeah.
that is one of our likenesses is that when I've talked with Wayne and just you saying that is that we do the things we got to do. We don't shut down. Everybody has these things in our life and unpleasant things face us, and then we say, well, we just have to find a way to work through it, and we do get through it.
Yep.
Most definitely.
And it seems
Yeah.
like
Yep.
that's what we're all doing. I know Brian does. He's so strong.
So you'd wonder why Dad didn't.
I don't know.
He's an enigma to me. I can't even begin to think or know how he thought.
Yeah.
The other thing too is 2 or 3 months after the last time I spoke to him, his best friend called me from the car dealership.
Say that again.
His best friend from the car dealership called me.
Okay. What's his name?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Was it Kevin McLean?
I don't remember.
Okay.
But he warned me about my father.
He warned you about Terry?
Yep.
What did he warn you? What did he say?
He told me that Terry was unreliable
Huh.
and that he just disappears. And I said, well, okay. Because, I didn't know one way or another. And I think my mom might have prompted that call. Because, after 2 or 3 months after I talked to Terry last on the phone, I didn't hear from him again. And I don't know if he went back to Texas or whatever, but he was not in Southern California at that time.
He didn't go live in Texas. He mostly lived in Central California after that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it just went dark. Silent.
Jessica said that she's having it's windy there and she's having internet issues, so she doesn't know if she's going to be able to
Get back in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The weather's been crappy. It's just been kind of crappy. It was windy here earlier, so
We have no wind whatsoever. 95% humidity. 100-degree temperature. It's awful.
Hate it.
I don't miss the weather in Texas or Kansas.
Well, I've always wanted to see a tornado. I mean, I've been in hurricanes. I've been in a tsunami. I've been in, what do they call them in Asia? Monsoons. Always wanted to see a hurricane. I mean, a tornado.
I never saw the tornado. It was locked in the cooler a couple of times when we were out shopping, and they were coming, and they locked us in the coolers in the grocery stores.
Right. Yeah. We're used to that. Oh, go to the coolers for tornado. My wife and I were in an F5 as little kids, and devastated the town. And for years, I was terrified. Now, I mean, we have so many now. It's just constant. I don't know what's going on.
Well, it's a sign that you're not paying attention to. You need to come to California, where we all live.
We had that one earthquake here in Gladewater about a year ago, and it was only a 3. It sounded like I thought fireworks were going off, and the metal on our patio rattled. That was enough to scare the crap out of me. I didn't know where to go. Now we got sinkholes in our backyard.
Yeah.
But we don't have earthquakes all the time. Not like you have tornadoes. That's so rare. I'm sorry, Paul. What did you want to say? I keep interrupting you.
Oh, I was just saying, from the time I was 5, that was a major earthquake, and then I was in every other major earthquake up until 1997 when I moved back to Oregon. So, I had friends that it turned out this guy was in boot camp with me. And I managed an apartment building. I looked at him. I said, "Hey," and he goes, "No way." I said, "Yep." So we had about a 4 earthquake, and him and his wife were packing up to get out of here. I said, "You mean a little teeny earthquake like that? You have freaking tornadoes? You better step back and check yourself."
So y'all don't have? Do y'all have tornadoes in California at all, or are they just small?
No.
They just call them like dirt
Water
dust
spell.
devils or something.
Yeah,
I mean, yeah,
dust
there's
devils and stuff.
things.
But
Nothing
yeah,
that causes
there've
damage.
been the
We've
one
got
we had in
tornadoes.
Anaheim
Anaheim?
knocked the buckets off of at Disneyland. It went through Disneyland and came down the road, moved the dumpsters. I saw the dumpsters go flying past the window, and I was on the second floor. But that's about it. I mean, that was as bad as it got, but it was good enough.
Say, Anna Lee. Yes.
It's Leah. She,
It's Leah and Anna.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Paul did meet Terry. We talked about that. So this is going to be on YouTube, so you can go back and review the questions that you've missed if you want. Or
And I text her and I gave her the answer just now.
okay.
They must have come in a little bit late and didn't hear that part.
Sure. And then, nope, that piano is not mine. That is a green screen behind me. This is my daughter's studio, and no, it doesn't look like that. That's fake. It's a green screen.
But are any musical singers instrumental?
Yes, Ryan, my granddaughter Ryan plays the bass, ukulele, and acoustic guitar. She is a singer. I am a singer. I was a tenor, but I'm going more bass now. Studied opera in high school, early college. Art was my thing, but it didn't pay the bills, so I'm an artist. I mean, I'm not an artist. I am a medical worker.
I'm about to start learning to play the piano myself.
I always wanted to. I've got a roll-up one in the closet, but that's where it's at, is in the closet.
My son William, he sings so well. I mean, the solo from Phantom of the Opera.
Nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know he could sing. So I went to the high school, and he came out on stage and started singing, and my jaw dropped. I went, "What?"
Wow.
So when it was all over, I said, "You never told me you could sing." He goes, "Well, I wasn't too sure about it at first, but he can sing. Not like me." That's Jack.
Okay. Play guitar.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brian plays the guitar too. That's nice.
Right. That's good. They were building up the number of musicians
And artists.
and artists.
I'm just
That's
mediocre at all of it. Never learned an
That's-
instrument.
That's where I'm at. I mean, I play at it. Wish I was good, but it is what it is.
Right?
Especially now. You know, once you hit next month, I will be 60. I don't care so much anymore what I sound like. If I'm going to sing, I'm going to sing. I don't care if it's in the grocery store. With age, you can become eccentric. Now, I wanted to wear my bunny suit, but I couldn't find one today.
I told you we could go Party Plus. It's probably gonna be about $50,
Yeah.
but you would get one.
But I think Leslie agrees I made a better decision not to wear a bunny suit.
I kind of do. I think it might have been a little distracting. I would have had to make fun of you because that's what I do.
Right. And that's okay. It's what family's for. If you can't make fun of them, they're not worth having around.
And Dad, there would be video evidence that me and Patrick can use against you.
Yeah. No evidence. But, my eyes are burning. Y'all know this is past my bedtime. Woo!
You got 20 minutes.
So you get up at dark 30 and go to work.
I do. I get
You
up.
do.
I set my alarms for 4:35 and 5:30, and I can tell what kind of mood I'm going to be in for the day, which one wakes me up first. Sometimes it's continuous. But I try to get up on the first one, but I usually don't. I get up at 4:30, then by 3:30 in the afternoon, I'm can't wait to get home, and then something happens. I end up having to stay till 7, 8 o'clock at night, and then I'm driving home, and I'm mad, and I'm angry, and sleepy.
Do you have traffic
Yeah.
on your commute?
I do. If I leave the house late, like about 7:15 to 7:30, I've got a lot of traffic and all the school buses to deal with.
Thankfully, it's not Dallas.
And then, but I try to leave 30 minutes before, so it's a straight shoot into work. And I never, if I'm at work at 5 o'clock and I can leave, I always wait 30 minutes because it's a nightmare, the 5 o'clock traffic. Because we have all these people trying to get home to Dallas. You'd be surprised how many people live in Dallas, Texas, and drive the 129 miles to work here at the hospital.
Every day?
Wow.
Yeah, yes,
It's kind of a waste
It's
of gas
insane.
At this point.
Wow.
Oh my God.
and I bet that changes with gas prices the way they are right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I live 17 miles away from work, and I'm thinking, man, I need to get a tent and sleep in the garage throughout the week.
So, Paul, you said that you are disabled because of your PTSD.
Yes.
So, so then I've seen on your Facebook you do a little bit of something artistic or working with your hands. Is that
I do.
that for a living or?
I do a lot of artwork. I would like to do it for a living. I'm going into the VA on the 22nd to get my sleep study done. And if it's as bad as we think it is, they'll just bump me up to 100%. And then I can be an artist and not worry about starving. Because right now I'm a home inspector and I'm so over that.
Okay, so you are still working then. Okay.
Healthcare, I'm over that. So, yeah, that's what we need to do, Paul, was just build an art community.
Yep. Lots of artists here in Oregon, really good ones too.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Well, I'm kind of mediocre, so that I need to be around where there's not good ones.
Oh my God.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree that you're mediocre because you've showed us some of your work and I think it's very good.
Yeah.
You're
So
a
do I.
biased sister.
Okay,
Yeah, 'cause-
yes, but I didn't have to say I think you're very good. I would have said, "Oh, you're an artist." No, I think you
you
are.
run circles around me.
Okay, I'm a completely non-artist, and so I appreciate your art.
And so, Paul, are you a reader?
I haven't been a reader for a little while, but growing up, I devoured 4 or 5 books a week.
Okay.
And I just kind of got out of reading several years ago, and I want to get back. So
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff I want to read.
I am reading. I love Shakespeare. The only thing I hadn't read was King Lear, and I was gifted the complete works of Shakespeare by
Cool.
someone in this group, Leslie. And so I started reading King Lear, and then I realized how painful it is to read, and I remembered why I never read it and finished it. Ugh. It's as bad as Wuthering Heights. It's like, oh, let this end.
Isn't that what you compared Star Wars to?
Star Wars, Wuthering Heights, no difference. It's plagiarism.
Lies and slander, you owe me a lightsaber.
I agree, Fallon. I agree.
Yeah, I'm a typical nerd. I'm deep into fantasy and fairies and science fiction, and it's been that way my entire life.
Mm.
Well, do you like Star Trek? Because while he doesn't like Star Wars, he loves Star Trek.
I love them
Yeah.
both. I'm a little
Mhm.
irritated about how they're changing the canon in Star Wars, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, don't get the Star Wars community on YouTube started because I'm actually part of the Fanbook Collective where I actually have to promote a lot of these content creators and like, oh boy, they've been raging for the last couple of years since the Last Jedi.
Yeah, my family's traitorous. They love Star Wars.
There is nothing wrong with OG Star Wars.
nope.
I'm more of a Trekkie than a Star Wars, but I like them both.
Yeah.
I like them both. I'm just more of a Luke Skywalker fan, but I don't appreciate how Mark Hamill has acted. So
That's funny. Yep. Has James caught up with Strange New Worlds, Leslie?
Yes. Sorry, I don't discuss it with him much because I'm not as interested. But yes, he has been watching it.
Keep
We
telling me I
still
need to
love
watch.
you for your faults.
Nope, I've been following it too. I love it.
I really liked it, and I'm one of the few Star Trek people that liked Discovery. I thought that was great. I liked the very.
I like
I'm
Discovery.
watching that. I like it.
the first
Yeah.
season.
I like
was
Discovery.
horrible,
I watched Picard.
I liked Picard.
yeah,
a lot.
Picard was good.
Okay. Anything that had 7 of 9, I'm gonna like. All right, guys. We're coming up on 48 minutes, and I am gonna have to cut this. I'm getting droopy and loopy right at this moment,
'Cause it's
but
almost
I think it
9.
was a good short segment for us. We'll do it again whenever you guys decide. I won't do this again. I will let you guys get together. Let me know, and we'll set up the studio.
Well,
I don't want to force you.
I have a ending question for Paul. So, how are
Sure.
you feeling after this meeting?
Comfortable.
Okay.
You know, I'd
That's
like to get to all know you all together, and it would be fantastic if somehow in the future we can all get together in person.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
that's
Well,
in coordination.
Being in Oregon, you're close to Brian and my daughter Leah, and of course LaDonna's not too far from you, and so I know that Leah is really open to
Nice.
meeting. So
I've been trying to get Sean more interested. He's busy. He's getting his master's. He's working full time, and they're trying to start a family. So
How far is Jessica from Brian?
oh, I don't know, like 6 hours.
Oh. Now, how long did it take you when you drove the bird all the way?
When I drove from here up there, it took me 15 hours. Well, it's a 15. It took me 18 because I stopped a time or two, but it's a 15-hour trip.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
California is just long.
Leah and her wife and our brother Brian is about 45 minutes from me.
Okay, that's not far.
No, not far at all.
and I'm getting
Yeah,
where I
how-
can travel more now. So
How far are you,
Exciting.
LaDonna, from Brian?
I'm not sure because it takes me 3 hours to get to Springfield, which is where my doctors are. Springfield, Eugene.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think from where you're at, it's about 5 or 6 hours.
Yeah. It's still not bad though. 'Cause
No, not really.
I've driven from when I had my ex-husband's cousin died, but the kids and I were close to him, and I went up to Portland for the funeral, and I got there in about 6 hours.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yes, Leah. Yes, you can recommend a Zoom. Send the text to me or Fallon. I'll send you her contact information, and she can set that up, and we can get it going again.
I'm up
Yes.
for it. That'd be
Yeah, I think
fun.
it'd be cool. Yeah, it'd be great.
Yeah.
Leah said she would
Get
have
the
loved
kids
to have
in.
been on here asking questions and talking. So maybe we can get Jack and Kate and Leah, and
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
that'd
Fallon.
be awesome.
yeah.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
that'd be a good idea. How many people can we get? I mean, I know we have to pay a fee, but
With Zoom, I think.
with
oh,
Zoom is a little
On
different.
Zoom, you could do 29, I think, at least.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so you get a lot of people.
Yeah, I know here
This is,
it's like $50 for us to do up to 10 here.
but
so.
you get a whole bunch of stuff because this is for YouTube streaming, Twitch, a
Yeah.
bunch of other stuff.
And so this here, it saves it here so that the other siblings that missed out or cousins that missed out that want to see it and see all of us, they can.
Also, yeah, I believe it also saves that we can download it to the computer.
Okay. Okay.
If we want to do that.
All right. Sounds good to me.
All right.
All right. So we're going to count out.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll catch y'all
Alrighty.
on the flip side.
Right.
Thank you, Fallon and Wayne.